Welcome to Probate Law from A to Z, where I talk with you about all of the concepts involved in probate law, but not every one on one video. We go from A to Z and use the alphabet as a construct. Hi, I'm probate attorney Dan Scott, and I want to walk you through an understanding of the letter H today. And today we're going to talk about the word heir. Now, you can't talk about the word heir without saying heir-at-law. I mean, we use the word heir, but really it means an heir-at-law. What does an heir mean? Well, an heir means someone that receives money or property of some kind in a probate estate. Someone who receives money or property of some kind in a probate estate. Well, what that means is that they are in a class of people, the heir or the heir-at-law, is in a class of people that the government has decided they ought to receive property. Because you see, we're dealing with an estate where there was no will left, okay? So we're dealing with what's called an intestate estate. And I talked about intestate estates in another video, and I'll link to it in the description. So if you don't have a will, so it's intestate, then anyone that receives property or money as a result of your will be an heir-at-law. Now, the reason we say heir-at-law, because the law decides who's going to be the person receiving it. So you don't get to decide if you don't write your will. So who is that class of people that the government has decided is going to get your property? Well, really, there's two classes. First, the surviving spouse, and second, the children. Okay, the surviving spouse, that is someone that you're married to on the date of your death who is still alive. And then your children. Understand that your surviving spouse is going to receive a child share, but no less than a third of your estate. And really, there's not much you can do about that because the law has already decided that's the way it's going to be. And your children are going to receive everything that's left. So, for example, if you've got 5 children, those 5 children are going to divide 2/3 of the remaining assets in your estate. So how do they receive their property? Well, somebody asked me the other day that would they be sure to get property? And I said, well, no, not really, because you've got to get down to your level in the distribution scheme in order for you to get property. Well, how do you get there? Well, heirs only receive property once all of the debts of the estate are paid. That is, people that file claims, okay? Those claims are allowed, and the court says they're a good debt against the decedent. And then the administrative costs of the probate itself. Only once those two claimants or those recipients receive money do the heirs-at-law or the heirs receive property under the estate. And sometimes you're going to have a scenario where there simply is nothing left once the claims of the decedent are paid. There's nothing left. And so the heirs don't receive anything. Now, one thing you need to understand that real estate passes to the heirs at the time of death subject to the claims of creditors. Well, wait a minute, Dan, you just got through telling me that the heirs may not get property. Well, that's right. Because in a scenario where there's not sufficient assets, personal property, cash, securities, vehicles, motorcycles, that sort of thing, sufficient personal property to pay the claims of the estate, then the real property is going to get pulled back into the estate for payment to creditors. So how do you get property if you're an heir? You're one of the classes of people. Well, what happens if there are no surviving spouse and there's no children? Well, then it's going to go out to the siblings. And there's actually another structure that if there's no siblings, it'll go up to the parents, and then if no parents surviving, up to the grandparents, and then down to their issue. So that gets pretty complicated. Well, I hope this was helpful to you. Please tune in to the Probate Law from A to Z as we try to help you understand more about the probate process. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, would you go ahead and subscribe to our channel? And that way we can let you know when we post additional videos. We do that pretty much all the time. Thanks for watching.